Hello, hello, hello! Greetings, salutations, konnichiwa, and every other form of green across this vast, marvelous multiverse. I am Matsu Quinox. This is Horse, and welcome back, my dear, marvelous, wonderful scholars, to the study. Hello there, hello there, hello there. Hello there, Yumiko. Congratulations on getting first. Oh my goodness, hydrate already. Oh my goodness. Let's go. Merry Christmas. Ah, yes, indeed. It is that holiday, isn't it? It is that holiday day. I completely forgot. No, I didn't forget, but you know me. Dr. Zadium, hello. Merry Christmas to you. Yes, indeed. And how is everyone's holiday happening? Whether it's Christmas or whether it's Hanukkah or whether it's Kwanzaa or whether it's Sayasi or wherever it is. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, hello there, Darth. Welcome. Marvelous is one way to describe a Sith Lord. Jury Jelly, Merry Cootie. Oh, Merry Cootie to you as well, Jury Jelly. Welcome. Oh my goodness, so many of my dear scholars here. Horace and I, we've been enjoying our. Oh, hello there, Yulian20. Welcome. Ho ho ho. Yes, indeed, Yumiko. Time is a concept. As this book shows, yes, it is. It is indeed. Yes. Horace and I really don't. Horace and I, we celebrate all of the holidays together. Darth Hanukkah ended a couple days ago. Matsu. That's sorry about that. It's hard to keep track of some of these holidays and how they do. There are so many holidays, and of course the study existing outside the Omniverse. We basically celebrate every single holiday we can here, and some of them we forget about, some of them we miss out because again they all happen at the same time. So we have to figure out where they're going to be or when they're going to be. Because again, time's a concept here. But yes, hello everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Hope everything's going okay, and hope you're enjoying whatever holiday you're celebrating. As long as you're happy, that's all that matters. Again, Horace and I, we celebrate a little bit. Ovid, Virgil as well. I know well, we try to give gifts to each other, but since we're surrounded by books, we just give each other the books that already exist here. Julian 20, 365 days till Christmas. That is true in your universe. So 300. Yumiko, it's Yule. Yes, it is Yule in some places. It used to be Yule. God, I remember when it was Yule. Oh my goodness, there was that one time when I manifested. Oh, that was a party. That was quite a party. Oh, congratulations on the 5 stream streak, Yumiko. Oh my goodness. So, yes, indeed. Yes. So, my dear, wonderful, marvelous scholars, tonight we are going to be concluding our reading of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. Now, I will warn you, this stream is probably going to be very short. We're not going to read anything else tonight, um, for the most part. But I think it's a good time to finish it. After all, it is in your area, if it is true, Christmas Day. So ending the story on this note at this point, I think it is a good point. Good time to end it. Oh my goodness gracious. But yes, for those who came in late, my dear scholars, we have been reading the story of Ebenezer Scrooge, a miserly, crooked old man in Victorian England. A man who has lost faith in humanity, who one Christmas Eve is visited by the ghost of his partner, Jacob Marley, who warns him that if he does not change his ways, he will be punished in the afterlife, as such as he was. But there is a way to escape his fate. He is to be visited by 3 spirits, whose teachings Scrooge must learn in order to become a better person. Darth, I am Sith Lord. Oh, I know this is a reading stream, but I have to say this now. I finally got the last campfire on my Switch. Oh, nice! It was on sale, so I had to get it. Good for you, Darth. Good for you. It's a wonderful game. I hope you enjoy it. So much emotional game. Or was I? Oh yes, the ghosts. First, he was visited by the strange spirit of Christmas past, who took him back to see his childhood as well as his youth, and to witness the loss of the one woman he loved, and how it turned him into a bitter individual. Julian20, congratulations on the three stream streak, Julian20. Oh my goodness, so many stream streaks tonight. Next was the ghost of Christmas present, a jolly giant of a man who took Scrooge around the world to see Christmas present. He also witnessed his poor his poor Clark, Bob Cratchit, and his family, and in doing so became aware of the plight of their crippled young son, Tiny Tim, as well as witnessing his young nephew and learning their opinion of him. Finally, he was visited by the ghost of Christmas yet to come, a hooded, strange specter, who took him into the future, allowed him to witness the death of poor Tiny Tim, as well as to see the awful end result of his greed, his own gravestone. So then, my dear scholars, are you prepared and ready for the finale of this wondrous holiday story? What say you, my dear scholars? Julian20 says, yes, please. All right, then. Oh. Oh, hello there, Plague. Welcome. Happy holidays, green-haired person. Thank you. You go, I still believe Tiny Tim had TB, tuberculosis. Like I said, they don't actually say what it is. It could be possible. Darth, now to say somewhat on topic, Johnny Depp is going to be playing Scrooge in a darker version of a Christmas Carol movie. It's coming out next year. Oh, interesting. Well, as long as it's not as dark as the Guy Ritchie version, that should be alright then. So then, my dear scholars, sit back, relax, have a hot beverage, dim the lights if you can, and let us conclude our reading of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. Stave 5. The end of it. Yes, and the bedpost was his own. The bed was his own, the room was his own. Best and happiest of all, the time before him was his own, to make amends in. I will live in the past, the present, and the future, Scrooge repeated as he scrambled out of bed. The spirits of all three shall strive within me. Oh, Jacob Marley, heaven and the Christmas time be praised for this. I say it on my knees, old Jacob, on my knees. He was so fluttered and so glowing with his good intentions that his broken voice would scarcely answer to his call. He had been sobbing violently in his conflict with the spirit, and his face was wet with tears. They are not torn down, cried Scrooge, folding one of his bed curtains in his arms. They are not torn down, rings and all. They are here. I am here. The shadows of the things that would have been may be dispelled. They will be. I know they will. His hands were busy with his garments all this time, turning them inside out, putting them on upside down, tearing them, mislaying them, making them parties to every kind of extravagance. I don't know what to do, cried Scrooge, laughing and crying in the same breath, and making a perfect lacoon of himself with his stockings. I am as light as a feather. I am as happy as an angel. I am as merry as a schoolboy. I am as giddy as a drunken man. A Merry Christmas to everybody. A Happy New Year to all the world. Hello here. Whoop! Hello! He had frisked into the sitting room, and was now standing there, perfectly winded. Yumiko, I have my wine. Oh, good for you. There's the saucepan that the gruel was in, cried Scrooge, starting off again and frisking round the fireplace. "There's the door by which the ghost of Jacob Marley entered. There's the corner where the ghost of Christmas present sat. There's the corner with there's the window where I saw the wandering spirits. It's all right. It's all true. It all happened." Really, for a man who had been out of practice for so many years, it was a splendid laugh, a most illustrious laugh, the father of a long, long line of brilliant laughs. I don't know what day of the month it is," said Scrooge. "I don't know how long I've been among the spirits. I don't know anything. I'm quite a baby. Never mind, I don't care. I'd rather be a baby. Hello? Whoop! Hello here!" He was checked in his transports by the churches ringing out the lustiest peals he had ever heard. Clash, clang, hammer, ding, don, bell, bell, don, ding, hammer, clang, clash. Oh, glorious, glorious. Jury jelly goo goo babies? I don't think it's goo goo babies. Running to the window, he opened it and put out his head. No fog, no mist. Clear, bright, jovial, stirring cold. Cold piping for the blood to dance to. Golden sunlight, heavenly sky. Sweet, fresh air, merry bells. Oh, glorious, glorious. Plague, I very much enjoy the amount of whimsy in your manner of speak. It brings me great joy. Ah, thank you. I do my best. "What's today?" cried Scrooge, crawling downward to a boy in Sunday clothes, who perhaps had loitered in to look about him. "I?" returned the boy with all his might of wonder. "What's today, my fine fellow?" said Scrooge. "To die?" replied the boy. "Why, Christmas Day." "It's Christmas Day," said Scrooge to himself. "I haven't missed it. The spirits have done it all in one night. They can do anything they like. Of course they can. Of course they can. Hello, my fine fellow." "Hello," returned the boy. Do you know the Poulters in the next street but one, at the corner?" Scrooge inquired. "I should hope I did," replied the lad. "An intelligent boy," said Scrooge. "A remarkable boy. Do you know whither they've sold the prize turkey that was hanging up there? Not the little prize turkey, the big one." "What, the one as big as me?" returned the boy. "What a delightful boy," said Scrooge. "It's a pleasure to talk to him. Yes, my buck." "It's hiding there now," replied the boy. "Is it?" said Scrooge. "Go and buy it." "Walker!" exclaimed the boy. "No, no," said Scrooge. "I am in earnest. Go and buy it, and tell him to bring it here, that I may give them the direction where to take it. Come back with the man, and I'll give you a shilling. Come back with him in less than 5 minutes, and I'll give you half a crown." The boy was off like a shot. He must have had a steady hand at a trigger who could have got a shot off half so fast. "I'll send it to Bob Cratchit's," whispered Scrooge, rubbing his hands and splitting with a laugh. "He shan't know who sends it. It's twice the size of Tiny Tim. Joe Miller never made such a joke as sending it to Bob's will be." The hand in which he wrote the address was not a steady one, but write it he did. Somehow, and went downstairs to open the street door, ready for the coming of the poulterer's man. As he stood there waiting his arrival, the knocker caught his eye. "I shall love it as long as I live," cried Scrooge, patting it with his hand. "I scarcely ever looked at it before. What an honest expression it has in his face. It's a wonderful knocker. Here's the turkey. Hallo! Whoop! How are you? Merry Christmas!" It was a turkey. It never could have stood upon his legs, that bird. He would have snapped 'em short off in a minute, like sticks of sealing wax.
Why, it's impossible to carry that to Camden Town,
said Scrooge.
you must have a cab.
The chuckle with which he said this, and the chuckle with which he paid for the turkey, and the chuckle with which he paid for the cab, and the chuckle with which he recompensated the boy, was only to be exceeded by the chuckle with which he sat down breathless in his chair again, and chuckled till he cried. Yumiko, I'm so stealing.
Hello, whoop!
Okay, if you wish, go ahead. You can thank Dickens for that. Excuse me. Shaving was not an easy task, for his hand continued to shake very much, and shaving requires attention, even when you don't dance while you are at it. But if he had cut the end of his nose off, he would have put a piece of sticking plaster over it, and been quite satisfied. He dressed himself all in his best, and at last got out into the streets. The people were by this time pouring forth as he had seen them with the ghost of Christmas present, and walking with his hands behind him. Scrooge regarded everyone with a delighted smile. He looked so irresistibly pleasant, in a word, that 3 or 4 good-humored fellows said, "Good morning, sir! A Merry Christmas to you!" And Scrooge said often afterwards that of all the blithe sounds he had ever heard, those were the blithest in his ears. He had not got far, when coming on towards him he beheld the portly gentleman who had walked into his counting-house the day before, and said, "Scrooge and Marley's, I believe." It sent a pain across his heart to think how this old gentleman would look upon him when they met. But he knew what path lay straight before him, and he took it. Jury Jelly could also have been Ricketts. Yeah, that is true, Jury Jelly, that is true. Darth, I'm being an image of a turkey the size of a small child with how Dickens described the turkey. It basically is described as that. It's huge.
My dear sir,
said Scrooge, quickening his pace and taking the old gentleman by both his hands.
how do you do? I hope you succeeded yesterday. It was very kind of you. A Merry Christmas to you, sir.
Mr. Scrooge?
Yes, said Scrooge. That is my name. I fear it might not be pleasant to you. Allow me to ask your pardon, and will you have the goodness?
Here Scrooge whispered in his ear, Yumiko, but keep your TP from Tiny Timmy away from me as a ring to it. That's awful. That is awful, Yumiko. My dear sir, said the other, shaking hands with him. Oh, I skipped a line. Lord bless me, cried the gentleman as if his breath were gone. My dear Mr. Scrooge, are you serious?
If you please, said Scrooge. Not a farthing less. A great many back payments are included in it, I assure you. Will you do me that favour?
My dear sir, said the other, shaking hands with him, I don't know what to say to them. Such wonderful...
Don't say anything, please, retorted Scrooge. Come and see me. Will you come and see me?
I will, cried the old gentleman, and it was clear he meant to do it.
Thank ye, said Scrooge. I am much obliged to you. I thank you 50 times. Bless you.
Darth, this is awful but funny. It's true, that is true. He went to church, and walked about the streets, and watched the people hurrying to and fro, and patted children on the head, and questioned beggars, and looked down in the kitchens of houses and up to the windows, and found that everything could yield him pleasure. He had never dreamed that any walk, that anything, could give him so much happiness. In the afternoon he turned his steps towards his nephew's house. He passed the door a dozen times before he had the courage to go up and knock. But he made a dash and did it.
Is your master at home, my dear?
Said Scrooge to the girl. Nice girl. Very.
Yes, sir. Where is he, my love?
Said Scrooge. He's in the dining room, sir, along with mistress. I'll show you upstairs, if you please.
Thank ye, he knows me,
said Scrooge with his hand already on the dining room lock.
I'll go in here, my dear.
He turned it gently and sidled his face in round the door. They were looking at the table, which was spread out in great array, for these young housekeepers are always nervous on such points, and like to see that everything is right.
Fred,
said Scrooge. Dear heart alive, how his niece by marriage started. Scrooge had forgotten for the moment about her sitting in the corner with the footstool, or he wouldn't have done it on any account. Why, bless my soul, cried Fred. Who's that?
It's I, your Uncle Scrooge. I've come to dinner. Will you let me in, Fred?
Let him in. It is a mercy he didn't shake his arm off. He was at home in 5 minutes. Nothing could be heartier. His niece looked just the same. So did Topper when he came. So did the plump sister when she came. So did everyone when they came. Wonderful party. Wonderful games. Wonderful unanimity. Wonderful happiness. But he was early at the office next morning. Oh, he was early there. Yumiko, all credit goes to Epigraph Battles of History. Of course it does, Yumiko. I wouldn't suspect anything less. If he could only be there first and catch Bob Cratchit coming late, that was the thing he had set his heart upon. And he did it. Yes, he did. The clock struck 9. No Bob. A quarter past. No Bob. He was a full 18 minutes and a half behind his time. Scrooge sat with his door wide open that he might see him come into the tank. His hat was off before he opened the door, his comforter too. He was on his stool in a jiffy, driving away with his pen as if he was trying to overtake 9 o'clock.
Hello,
growled Scrooge in his accustomed voice as near as he could feign it.
What do you mean by coming here at this time of day?
I'm very sorry, sir, said Bob. I am behind my time.
You are, repeated Scrooge. Yes, I think you are. Step this way, if you please.
It's only once a year, sir, pleaded Bob, appearing from the tank. It shall not be repeated. I was making rather merry yesterday, sir.
Now, I'll tell you what, my friend, said Scrooge. I am not going to stand this sort of thing any longer. And therefore,
he continued, leaping from his stool and giving Bob such a dig in the waistcoat that he staggered back into the tank again.
And therefore, I'm about to raise your salary.
Bob trembled and got a little nearer to the ruler. He had a momentary idea of knocking Scrooge down with it, holding him and calling to the people in the court for help and a straight waistcoat.
A Merry Christmas, Bob,
said Scrooge with an earnestness that could not be mistaken, as he clapped him on the back.
A Merry Christmas, Bob, my good fellow, than I have given you for many a year. I'll raise your salary, and endeavour to assist your struggling family, and we will discuss your affairs this very afternoon, over a Christmas bowl of smoking bishop. Bob, Make up the fire, and buy another coal scuttle before you dot another I, Bob Cratchit.
Scrooge was better than his word. He did it all, and infinitely more. And to Tiny Tim, who did not die, he was a second father. He became as good a friend, as good a master, and as good a man as the good old city knew, or any other good old city, town, or borough in the good old world. Some people laughed to see the alteration in him, but he let them laugh, and little heeded them, for he was wise enough to know that nothing ever happened on this globe for good, at which some people did not have their fill of laughter in the outset. And knowing that such as these would be blind anyway, he thought it quite as well that they should wrinkle up their eyes and grins, as have the malady in less attractive forms. His own heart laughed, and that was quite enough for him. He had no further intercourse with spirits, but lived upon the total abstinence principle ever afterwards. And it was always said of him that he knew how to keep Christmas well, if any man alive possessed the knowledge. May that be truly said of us and all of us. And so, as Tiny Tim observed, God bless us, everyone. Dr. Zanium snort, of course. Darth, no more intercourse with the spirits. Oh, of course, of course. Yes, yes, that is such quite the words from Dickens. Oh, here's another little fun fact about that last chapter. You might notice the phrase "and Tiny Tim who did not die" was in there. In the original draft that Dickens wrote and sent off to the individuals who were going to help him publish it, he did not actually say if Tiny Tim lived or not. One of his test readers actually came back and told him, well, you have to say, you can't just say if Tiny Tim did not, because if Tiny Tim died anyway, then it would mean everything that Scrooge went through was for nothing. So at the last minute, Dickens wrote in great emphasis that he did not die. You would call gotta use protection, throws a rosary. There's not much to say about the adaptations in this one. Most of the versions keep it exactly the same. It's not a very long chapter at all. Some little variations that pop up once in a while include things like having Mrs. Dillibar in the scene where he wakens and him treating her nicely. Um, there are some variations, especially in the 1938 one, the 1971, where Scrooge actually goes to and the Mickey Mouse version, where Scrooge goes to Cratchit's home and speaks with the family directly, and that's when they find that he's transformed into a good man. But most versions just keep it the same. It just it's again a very straightforward chapter, and it's a lovely chapter because, as they point out, Scrooge has gone through so much, and he admits himself that it is strange to see him change so quickly. You too. You become convinced Dickens hated Tiny Tim. Well, he was a Dickens. What did you expect? Oh no, no, we do not talk about that. Darth, I love Dickens for all the funny things in this book, like top couple and bottom couple during the Ghost of Christmas. Yes, yes, yes. There are definitely some wordplay in this. But yes, there isn't much to say about the changes. Um, there are some versions which even cut out Fred completely, so visiting Fred takes no. They don't have him visit Fred at all. The 1938 version has Scrooge make Fred his business partner, which I always thought was a little bit of annoying since Cratchit's right there, you know. But then again, that might be due to status differences. You would call, yes, a lovely chapter. Hello, whoop! They're saying, yes, Matsu, you need to end off the screen with hello, whoop. Of course. And yes, that was A Christmas Carol. Darth, I wonder if the workplay was Dickens being a funny little dude. The wordplay. Yeah. Dickens was being a funny little guy. Yeah, he had. Again, as I mentioned before, this book was not was written to pay off a debt. It wasn't written as any great piece of literature, but he managed to make it work, and it became a classic in its own right. So of course, it's worth that alone. Yumiko redeem. Okay. Dr. Zame, hey, that should be a stream rewards points thing. I will add it to stream rewards points if I can. Maybe I'll record it and do it as an audio redeem. But yes, as I said, this is gonna be a very short stream. I'm sure some are busy and have to attend to the holiday matters. So next week. Oh, radio voice, of course. Hello and welcome once again to Radio Matsu, where we are reading Christmas Carol for all you wonderful scholars. Dr. Zadium has requested that I do a word for it, so here we go. Allo whoop. Allo whoop. Allo whoop. I hope you enjoy that, Dr. Zadium. So as always, this is Matsu Quinox at Radio I forgot what the name was. Radio Matsu, that's it. Thank you, Horace. And let's all enjoy this holiday evening together. Dr. Zane, that is so smooth. Of course it's smooth. It's Radio Matsu. But next week, I am actually going to take next week off, I think. I want to make sure I don't burn out of myself. And I haven't taken a break in a while. So we are going to take a week's break, my dear scholars. But after that, we will come back with Spirit of the North and perhaps another novel for your liking. Tonight, I know usually I raid, but tonight I will not be raiding because I think yes we should just have a good evening then. So then, my dear scholars, I say unto you, good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Till we meet each other again in the study. Take care, and I shall see you next time. And all of you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays. Farewell and bye bye.